Back here on Classic Hits 105.9 WGWE. Have a special guest with us this morning. Caleb Abrams is joining us. First of all, Caleb, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate that. Caleb's working with the Allegheny Language Department of Rachel Wolf's Upper Division Seneca Language students at Salamanca High School on a series of short films, and this project is being funded through a grant from the Tri-County Arts Council. Very interesting, amazing work. Caleb, first of all, let's talk about this grant from the Tri-County Arts Council making this project possible.
Yeah, so last fall, the grants department here at the Nation approached Rachel Wolf, myself, and John Oates Bowen with the language department about this grant opportunity through the Tri-County Arts Council. Mm-hmm. They needed a community, the grant recipient, which is the language department itself, mm-hmm. a community partner, which would be the language department, and then an artist/teacher to help facilitate these community instruction classes.
So it all came together along with the classes at Salamanca High School that you're
mm-hmm.
working with right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, first of all, Caleb, I want to talk a little about language because I've been with the Nation with WGWE 3 years now. And this past year, I've seen what I think is a terrific uptick in the number of people that are interested getting into language, into the immersion program. That's got to be very exciting, and I think it's long overdue.
Yeah, definitely. And I think projects like this that can make multiple entry points for people to take to follow that interest mm-hmm. are really important. Because what we're doing with this project here is it's not only for the students themselves to sort of flex their language skills, but to also introduce them to different ways in which they can express that and share that, communicate that through film or other visual mediums.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question because you're in the Seneca Media and Communications Department. There are so many different mediums mm-hmm. that are available for you to assist the kids. And I saw the YouTube clip that you sent, a terrific little YouTube clip about the program, about the project. Well, you're going to be working with those students on a series of short films. Is that right? That's
right. We started meeting early this year in 2019. I was coming in once a week. We've since, now that we're getting close to the end of the school year, I've been coming in twice a week. Mm-hmm. And we went over digital video fundamentals, so that's shooting, shot composition, basic editing techniques, audio recording, scripting. It goes on and on and on. So mm-hmm. it's really more of an introduction than anything, than formal. I don't expect them to walk out knowing everything that we covered.
Sure.
But yeah, so I've been meeting with them since wintertime this year, and we've been working towards the production of, it will be 5 short films that range in length from maybe about 3 minutes to 7 or 8.
Oh, wow.
And each one of them has their own focus. You know, these were things that the students came up with themselves. I had no part to play in what stories they wanted to tell, mm-hmm. but really I was there as a resource to help them know how to get to that endpoint.
Besides the fact that the grant was available from Tri-County Arts Council, talk to our listeners and me, specifically what spurred you to want to be a part of this. I know the things that you guys do at the Media and Communications Department are amazing, and they run a gamut from video to flyers to everything. But what spurred you personally on to want to take this project on?
Yeah. Well, like I said, when the grants department, Deanna Diaz, reached out to John Oates, Rachel, and I mean, right off the bat, I thought it was an awesome project mm-hmm. and a great opportunity, like I said, too, to make use of language in a different capacity. Mm-hmm. And for me personally, my journey to becoming a filmmaker here it began at Salamanca High School. Mm-hmm. The media program there, Michelle Hill's media classes, it's a really robust program mm-hmm. for a school our size. So I had access to all these fantastic resources and equipment, and I took it as an elective in high school. But when I went to college, when I had the chance to take another elective, mm-hmm. I took a media course, mm-hmm. and I guess I didn't realize what an opportunity I'd had in high school, and that immediately, that skill set that I was bringing to college kind of gave me a leg up in those classes and really helped me see, because up until that point I was a fine arts major. So right. I really felt that I was just switching mediums. I was now moving into a new a new art form. So, being back at the school and being able to potentially play some small role in introducing other Seneca High School students to these technologies, to these mediums, and to this sort of school of thinking too. If that leads one of them to maybe take the class, an elective when they're in college or something down the road, I'd be very happy to have played some small role in that too.
Caleb Abrams, media content producer of the Seneca Media and Communications Center, joining us here this morning on WGWE. One question I also had, Caleb, since you sent me the info, is how did they get involved at the high school? Now, I understand it's a specific class, a language class at Salamanca High School, but was there a group that you kind of culled through to be a part of this extra project? Was there any kind of, backlash on, hey, I don't know if I want to be on the video or make a video? I mean, how does that all come together?
Yeah, so the collaboration is between the Allegheny Language Department, Rachel Wolf's upper division Seneca Language classes at the high school, and myself. Mm-hmm. So, but when we were applying for the grant, Rachel was that critical bridge between myself being the instructor and the language department and Janos' team being the grant recipients. So I think that she made some of those decisions and calls. I'm not sure if there was much of a dialogue with the students at that point, but I think she was the one making those decisions and taking time to consider if this would be a good fit for her curriculum, because this year it's part of the class. Right. It's their final project. And so she and I are working on a sort of rubric to help grade the pieces at the end of the
Just an amazing program, and the opportunities that students are provided at Salamanca High School in conjunction with the Seneca Nation is just absolutely unbelievable. Mm-hmm. I do want to, before we start wrapping up, Caleb, I do want to ask a question specifically about language and the department and the immersion program. We talked about how I've been here for a number of years and I've seen an uptick in interest. Has there also been an uptick in people participating in the program? Because just because there's interest in the program, you still need people to participate for the language to thrive and survive.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I mean, from my understanding, there's always a steady stream of Seneca language students at the high school. Mm-hmm. And I think to your point, that uptick that we're seeing within the community and programs for adults, right? The immersion, the language programs, even the classes that the language departments offer during the day. Mm-hmm. I know that both on Allegheny and Cattaraugus that you can participate in adult language classes a few times a week. And I think we're just coming to a point in both of our communities and as a people that we're really, I think, rising to the occasion here and realizing that there are lots of different ways to be a part of this language revitalization effort that I think a lot of us feel is taking place. Mm-hmm. And so I think projects like this not only allow conversations within departments and the leadership of those departments on ways to engage the community, but also getting the youth involved is that really critical piece of all of this.
Sure.
Because this is forcing them to not only engage with their language skills, but also consider ways that they can showcase the language in these short films, because these films, these short videos will be primarily in Seneca, mm-hmm. if not entirely. They'll feature vocab, phrases. Some of them have interviews. Some of them are a bit more narrative in nature. Right. There's elements of that are more serious or more comedic. So they run the full gamut here. But I think it's just really important and useful that it's getting them to think about ways to use the language outside of reciting the Ganoniog or conjugating verbs. Like mm-hmm. It's I hope a bit more fun, or it's getting them to think more creatively.
This is an outstanding project, and I'm so glad that it's involving the youth, as Caleb mentioned, to keep language going. Now, the students' films, there's going to be a public screening at mm-hmm. Salamanca High School on Thursday, June 13th. We want to make sure that people still are reminded about that. So, again, as we wrap up, Caleb, any information on the web or on social media that people can keep up with these projects and kind of save that date?
Yeah, we'll definitely be doing, there'll be flyers, there'll be posts on Facebook mm-hmm. with the language department, through the media department, in the newsletter as well. Mm-hmm. So if people just keep their eyes out across all those different platforms and sources, the information is coming.
Well, I can't thank Caleb Abrams for joining us here on WGWE enough. This is a fantastic project, and congratulations also Rachel Wolf and the students at the high school for participating in this. I can't wait for the screening June 13th, and Caleb Abrams has been kind enough to join us this morning. Caleb, thank you so much for your time. Best of continued luck in this project. Thank you.
All right, Chris.